Hey there, Fletcher from All Things Overlanding here, and today I wanted to tell you about this awesome 4-in-1 jump box air compressor from WOLFBOX. Yes, that WOLFBOX, the one that makes the amazing quality backup cameras that replace your rear view mirrors. I'm running one in my truck and I've had it for a couple of years and it's been great. So to know that there is a high quality company out there that makes really good products, making something that has multiple uses, especially for people like us that do overlanding and camping, or if you just want one for your significant other's vehicle so that they're never left stranded, this might be a good option for you. So again, I'm going to walk you through everything on this unit. I'm going to show it in action. And we're going to air down one of my 33-inch tires and then air it back up and time it just to show you how fast this thing will air things up. And I'm going to give you all the info on this thing. So let's learn more about the WOLFBOX 4-in-1 24,000 milliamp hour jump starter / air compressor.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you gave to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, guys, so let's start by opening this thing up, and I just want to show you everything that comes with this. So first of all, notice this really nice high quality case. Now this thing is pretty sizable, and I'll put the dimensions up here on the screen. Length, depth, and then height. But that's because this thing is 24,000 milliamp hours, huge capacity battery that you can use for charging devices, that you can use for jump starting your vehicle, and can do a lot of things. So of course you get the main unit here, which again, this is going to be what does all the work. This is what's going to work as your air compressor. This is what's going to work for jumping your vehicle. This is what's going to work for charging things. And then on the end here, you've got your flashlight. Now this does charge by USB-C. USB-C to USB-C is what they give you the cable for. So you could charge this off of your vehicle if you've got USB-C. You can charge it off of a power bank. You can charge it off of a box at home. There's a million different ways to keep this thing topped up. One thing that I really like about this, though, is that this will stay in standby mode and retain its charge for up to 24 months. Another thing is you can use this to jumpstart a vehicle up to 40 times before you have to recharge it. So I've had some of these where you jumpstart your vehicle once or twice and it's completely shot. But because of the big capacity of this thing, you can actually jumpstart your vehicle multiple times and really truly leave it as a backup, something that you can leave in your vehicle without having to worry about keeping charged all the time, and it'll stay on standby for up to 24 months, which is awesome. So of course, you do get a really nice, pretty thick little owner's manual here. So if you have any questions or you ever see an error or anything like that, that's going to help with that. Then of course you get your jumper cables, which are just right here. But what I like about these is a lot of these with these jump starters seem to be really small. Like they're not full-size jumper cables. They're actually just really, really tiny ones. And that makes it really hard to use. So I like that they've got these big full-size alligator clips on the end of it. So also included in this little storage net up here is your air cable, which just plugs right here into this threaded top piece there for when you want to inflate something. You can use this on bike tires. You can use this on a vehicle. There's multiple modes, which I'll show you here in a second, but you do get that hose as well, and it's detachable, which I like. Then you get a few different types of attachments. So again, stuff for like a basketball or different types of inflatable things to give you some options for what you want to blow up with it. And then you get your USB-C to USB-C charging cable. Now, on the side here, you're going to see they've marked everything really super plainly, so it makes it really easy. So this is where your jumper cables go. And as you can see from that blue plug, this is basically just going to plug in there, and it can only plug in one way, so you cannot mess it up. But you would plug this in here to the side, and then you would attach, obviously, the red cable to the positive of your vehicle, the black to the negative, and that's how you would jumpstart it. So now once you plug in the jumper cables and you hook them up to your battery, you should see a green light on here. And when you see that, that's when you know you're good to go. All that you have to do is go into your vehicle and hit the start button or turn your key, and it should just start right up. It's going to automatically flow the power into the battery and give you enough juice to start the vehicle. Then, of course, once you get it started, let it run for a while, maybe 15 to 20 minutes to charge up the battery using the alternator. You can also leave this attached for a little while, and that will continue to pump power into it. But that's just a nice way to get your vehicle started. And again, up to 40 jump starts off of one charge is pretty impressive. All right, so now that we've talked a little bit about the jumper capability of it, really super simple to use, let's talk about the flashlight part of this. So another function this has is it has this really big bright flashlight on the front. There is a button here that looks like a picture of a flashlight, and that is how you turn it on. So you turn it on. It's going to come on. You can use this, you know, around camp. You could use this if you had a flat tire, lay this, because it's a big box, you could lay this on the ground, use this to illuminate your tire if you're, you know, working to pump it up. If you hit it again, it's going to go into that sort of flashing mode. So you could also use this on the side of the road if you needed to, as like an emergency awareness thing to show other drivers approaching you that, you know, you're working on your tire and make sure that they don't hit you. And if you hit it again, it slows down the flashing. You hit it one more time and it goes off. So you basically got those 3 modes on the flashlight. Here on the top is where you would charge this unit. Now, again, it does include a USB-C to USB-C charging cable, and then you've got a USB-A to whatever output as well. So another function of this thing is that you could use this to charge your phone. You could use it to charge any sort of device that you can plug in via USB-A, and just use this as a charging pack or a portable power bank. So the last piece, let's talk about the air compressor. So you do have different ways that you can show the power. So I'm in America, so we use PSI for the most part, but you can switch this to be kPa. You can switch it to be kilograms per centimeter squared. You can switch it to be bar, or again, PSI. So you can change the units that it reflects on here based on what you're comfortable with. Then this middle button here is like an M with arrows circling it. That's how you change your modes. So as you can see up here, I've got a car highlighted right now, which is what I'm going to use here in a second when we test it. So if we want to air up car tires, we can use that. Or there's a motorcycle option, or there's a bicycle option, or there's a basketball option. Now it gives you a preset for what air it's going to turn to, and then it has an auto shut off. So if you're airing up a basketball, it gets to 9 PSI, it's going to turn itself off. Then the final mode is sort of a manual mode, which it just defaults to 21, but then you can use the plus and minus to set it to whatever you want. Hit the power button and it'll start to air up your tires. But again, let's move it over to car because that's what we're going to use. And it's got it set to 36, which is fine for me. So we are going to use that as our auto cutoff. All right, so now we're going to put our air tube in here. Now it does say caution hot up here, so you do want to watch it when you are using this device. Like we're going to use this on a 33-inch tire, so it may get hot, so you just want to be careful when you touch this. But it has this really nice sort of little like screw cap on it, so it makes it really easy to put it in there. But I like that it's detachable. A lot of these, they're not detachable, and then you're kind of stuck with this tube hanging out over it. You're worried about bending it or breaking it. So I like that you can easily detach this thing, because it just makes storage a lot easier, especially because you're most likely going to keep this thing stored more than you're going to use it as a backup. All right, guys, so I know this is going to look funky on the video, but obviously this doesn't flash like this in real life. So I've got it set to the default 36 PSI. I've brought the tire down to 20 PSI. So now all we have to do is basically hit the power button. And so there you can see the auto shut off. It hit 36 pounds and it turned itself off. Now I'm going to put the time up here on the screen because I was timing this and didn't have any problems at all. So would you use this to air up 4 tires, you know, after hitting trails and stuff? No, but if you had this in your vehicle, or what I may do with mine is put it in my Infinity, my other car that I keep in the garage, and I just kind of drive when the weather's nice, so that if I ever was out somewhere and I had a flat tire or something and I needed to air it back up, this thing would be perfect for that. The auto shut off just makes things so much easier. And as you can see, still airs up pretty fast for the small size of the unit. All right, so to wrap this thing up, I wanted to touch on a couple more features of this thing, and then we will get you out of here. Didn't want to make this video super long, but wanted to get you all the info. So the capacity of this thing is, as I mentioned earlier, about 24,000 milliamp hours, which is a good size battery. It is a 4,000 amp equivalent output, and its jump box capabilities. This thing is also IP64 waterproof and dustproof, so you know, if you're out on a trail or something and you need to air up a tire, you don't have to worry about it if it's blowing, if it's dusty, if it's, you know, raining and stuff. I wouldn't submerge it necessarily, but you know, it's going to withstand rain, drizzle, condensation. If you accidentally left this out overnight, let's say you aired up a tire and left it on the side of your vehicle and walked away because of the auto shut off, you don't have to worry about it. If you left it out overnight and it got some condensation on it, still should be fine. Another thing to point out is that on these charging ports, the USB-C is also an in and out, so you can charge off of it, and it will charge up to 65 watts out. So it has fast charging. So again, you could use the USB-C, you could use the USB-A, which is 18 watts, or you could use this barrel plug over here beside it to charge stuff and use this as basically a high output portable power bank. So just a lot of ways to get value out of this. This thing is a little bit on the pricey side compared to a lot of these jump starters, but the fact that you get the air compressor with auto shut off, multiple modes, the fact that you've got high output power bank essentially built in, you get the flashlight, which is a nice to have, and then of course you get the jump starter, which with 24 months of standby and up to 40 jumps on it is a pretty good deal and a pretty good peace of mind, not to mention the fact that it comes from a really good company that has great products out there and a great reputation. So that helps as well. So again, that's going to do it for the WOLFBOX 4-in-1 jump starter / air compressor. Hope that was helpful for you. Of course, there will be a link in the description down below, so if you want to pick one up for yourself, definitely check that out. Now, as always, there will be links to all my other social channels in the description below, so wherever you want to come hang out, I'd love to have you. Then there's also a link to my website where I've got funny overlanding, camping themed patches and stickers, things like all things overlanding patches and stickers, funny ones like don't burn your wiener and it's a hot dog, or I hate people so I camp, or F people, let's go overlanding. So a little bit of everything for everyone. So definitely check those out. Also below this video is a join button, which is just sort of a nice passive way to support the channel, get you early access to the videos and some other perks. And it's just a way to say, hey, thanks for making the videos. Now, if you want to be more involved with all things overlanding, there's also a link to my Patreon page, and this thing is growing every day, and it's a ton of fun. We've got a bunch of awesome people in there. We share memes, we talk about our rigs and our gear, people ask questions, we go on a couple trips every year in person, we do a once-a-month Zoom call, and we've got a 24/7 Discord where we chat, so tons of fun. If that sounds good, definitely check that out. And then last but not least, there's a link to the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group, which is totally free to join, has about 27,000 members in it at the time that I'm posting this. But unlike a lot of the other big groups, there's no bullying in here. If people are mean, we just kick them out. So be nice, come in, help. If you're looking for help, don't be afraid to ask questions, and we'd love to have you. But again, hope that was helpful on the WOLFBOX jump starter / air compressor. If you have any questions, post up in the comments below. Make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any new content, and we'll see you next time.